gathering space for the mission of the fellowship. Having a place is about what we can be and do. A building is a physical resting place to accompany the resting place in our hearts, a place of indwelling, a resting place, as Tom beautifully wrote, where we build in love together. The first words of our first song this morning were building bridges between our divisions, which we now do on Bridge Street. But hey, what's in a name anyway, huh? What's in an address? Is it ironic, perhaps? Circumstance? Maybe not. Maybe it's more than that. For Koof to be located on Bridge Street is more than appropriate. It is necessary in today's world. Building bridges in our community, our world, is what we believe in, it is what we plan, and it is that in which we hope. And then noting these words of blessing ahead of the close of this morning's service, may these new walls breathe with the hope, faith, and love of the ages. May they never become walls that separate. Bridges and walls. As we take occupancy of this new home, consider home to be that resting place in which we are created to be caretakers, stewards. What we do in and with and through, and in Lutheran terms it's in, with, and under, but in, with, and through, this space, what we do here is a reflection of our acceptance of who we are created and called to be. Building bridges is what we can now do from this home on Bridge Street. So my thoughts turned to Marty Haugen's song, Here in This Place, or Gather Us In. I'd like to share 2 verses of that. He wrote, Here in this place new light is streaming. Now is the darkness vanished away. See in this space our fears and our dreamings, brought here to you in the light of this day. Gather us in, the lost and forsaken. Gather us in, the blind and the lame. Call to us now, and we shall awaken. We shall arise at the sound of our name. We are the young, our lives are a mystery. We are the old who yearn for your face. We have been sung throughout all of history, called to be light to the whole human race. Gather us in, the rich and the haughty. Gather us in, the proud and the strong. Give us a heart so meek and so lowly. Give us the courage to enter the song. Another song came to mind months ago when I pondered what it means for Koof to build bridges on Bridge Street. And it is in part a cautionary tale, because religion can so easily turn into walls that divide one person from another, because we can be so certain that we know the truth and what that truth means and what it should mean for everyone. Walls are important, even vital, so we know who we are. But bridges span the chasms that can exist in negative ways between us and in our own community. So these words are from Bill Staines' song called Bridges. There are bridges, bridges in the sky. They are shining in the sun. They are stone and steel and wood and wire. They can change 2 things into one. They are languages and letters. They are poetry and awe. They are love and understanding. And they're better than a wall. There are canyons. There are canyons. They are yawning in the night. They are rank and bitter anger, and they are all devoid of light. They are fear and blind suspicion. They are apathy and pride. They are dark and so foreboding, and they're oh so very wide. Let us build a bridge of music. Let us cross it with a song. Let us span another canyon. Let us right another wrong. Oh, and if someone should ask us where we're off and bound today, we will tell them, building bridges, and be off and on our way. May we have the courage to enter the song.
July 7th, 2024. 7/7/2024. What an auspicious day for a building dedication. 7 is mentioned over 600 times in the Bible. It uses the same word in Hebrew. It uses the Hebrew word for completion. So it's symbolic of that which is complete. You may be familiar with the creation story of Genesis, which states that God created the world in 6 days, and on the 7th, it was complete, the 7th, and that day God rested. I know there is still much work to be done for this building, but I hope that you are all able to rest in the possibilities that this place offers. Resting in the privilege, resting in the grace that having common ground can provide. I'd like to explore that possibility today by talking about windows and mirrors. You might be noticing a theme. Normally, I'm a little bit more of the earthy ecology plant kind of theme, but we'll use some built environment today because we are no separate than nature. Windows and mirrors. You have a beautiful window that looks right in from the road to your sanctuary, right out of your sanctuary into the world. And during the 10 months of winter in Houghton, when the with darkness outside and the lights on inside, that will become reflective, like a mirror. Lucille Clifton, African-American poet, writer, and educator, shared that all children, and for that matter, people of all ages, must have mirrors in which they can see themselves, windows in which they can see the world. The metaphor of windows and mirrors is one that is used in many religious teachings. If we live in a house with no windows at all, and all of our walls are gray, how would we ever know that there's even the possibility of all those colors that one could paint a wall? All we know is what's in our own minds and in our own experience. Likewise, if we have no mirrors, we have no self-awareness about who we are and what guides us. Windows offer new perspectives, mirrors an opportunity for reflection. A reflective practitioner is one who uses both to create communal understanding. Religious communities that have windows wrestle with difficult questions about diversity of beliefs, the challenges of modernity, issues of inequality, the list goes on. But in doing so, in doing that wrestling, they see themselves in the world and gain mirrors that reflect the depth of faith required to make meaning of these challenges. A living faith. When we are only exposed to those who think like us, talk like us, have ideas like us, it's not closing a window per se, but it's more like drawing a curtain. And pretty soon we don't even realize how small our world has become. Likewise, if we proclaim love is at our center, but we never take time to look in the mirror, how do we know that we are actually the ones reflecting this into the world? May this fellowship, in whatever building you gather in, but for sure, while you gather here, always have windows into the world and mirrors of self-awareness and reflection to guide your way. While you are here, each time you walk in the door, know that you are well served by the window and the mirror.
Oh, Stacy. Good morning. This is a full house. How lovely. How very lovely. My name is Carol Grafford. I am lay ordained in the Plum Village community of engaged Buddhism, which is the following of Thich Nhat Hanh, Zen Buddhist master. And I am part of the ministry team and so delighted to be welcomed into that role. Today, we dedicate and celebrate this building. I would like to celebrate the roof and the doors. We do have a theme going, don't we? What is a building without a roof? Wet and cold, I think. What does a roof provide? Shelter, a refuge from the storm, a place where we can feel safe, both literally and metaphorically. Safe from the weather, safe from the chaos and the turmoil of our society, at least for a little while we are under the roof. And doors, oh, I like doors, because doors can be open. At KUF, we value openness, being open to everyone, all ages, all abilities, all kinds of people, all people. With open doors, we can engage with the world. We can learn, we can expand our possibilities. And I like doors because they can be closed. The closed door helps the roof with our shelter and our refuge. With a closed door, we can retreat. We can come inside. We can nourish all the beneficial qualities within us, helping them to grow stronger. Qualities like compassion, acceptance, curiosity, loving kindness, and many, many more. With a roof, we have shelter and refuge. With an open door, we have inclusiveness and engagement. With a closed door, we have retreat and nourishment. May many people find the kind of shelter and refuge they need under this roof. May we continue to open our doors of inclusiveness ever wider. May we be able to give and to receive social and spiritual nourishment as we retreat behind our doors each week. And so it is.